Hey guys, this is Riya Soni and welcome to Terraform for Beginners series. In last video, we understood what infrastructure as a code is and what Terraform is. As I explained earlier, infrastructure as a code means that we can provision infrastructure by coding. Now, there might be a question in every viewer's mind that what's new about provisioning infrastructure through code and how is it being used in real world and how does it save our time? So, to understand this, let's reimagine the same scenario explained in the previous video. As I told you before, we have a shopping application and it receives traffic from all over the world. To handle this traffic, we have deployed our application in multiple AWS regions and multiple AWS accounts. And as I mentioned, there is a lot going on behind our shopping application, such as multiple servers, databases, networking tools, and much more. So, in every region where we want to deploy the application, we need to provision all this infrastructure so that the application can run properly. And if we manually provision everything in each region, there might be some things left behind. And creating so many services manually is a time consuming task. And even if you somehow manage to create everything manually, you will have to keep track of which server is running and which one has been shut down. Is it possible to check each one every day? Definitely not. That's why automation is essential. In a scenario where we can provision all the required infrastructure just by running a script, and whenever we want, we can delete the entire infrastructure with just one command. And this is precisely what happens in the real world. Companies use infrastructure as a code tools like Terraform to provision the required infrastructure for their software and then use Ansible to install the application on that infrastructure. That's why Terraform plays an important role, and there is a high demand for skilled DevOps engineer who know Terraform. That's why learning Terraform is very important. I hope now you have no doubts about what Terraform is, what its use is, and why you should learn it. By the way, let me tell you that in this series, whatever infrastructure we create, we will do it on AWS Cloud. So, for those of you who are not familiar with creating services on AWS, don't worry at all. I will provide a basic overview of each services as we go along. So, don't think if I don't know AWS, how can I learn Terraform? Alright? To provision infrastructure on AWS, we need an AWS account. So, let's first create a free tier account on AWS. The free tier account allows us to use many AWS services for free for 1 year up to certain limits so that we can learn and test. That's why we are creating a free tier account so that we can learn to create services with Terraform for free. To create a free tier account, you need to search on Google for AWS free tier and you will find the official link to set up your AWS account. Just click on it and you will reach the AWS free tier page where you can read about the free tier offering. It lists all the services that AWS provides for free, such as EC2, S3, RDS, DynamoDB, SageMaker, Lambda, etc. You can use all these services up to certain limits for 1 year. And to use these services, you need to create a free tier account. For that, you have to click on create a new account. It will open a sign up page where you need to provide your email address, account name, and card details. Fill in all these details and create your account. Once your account is created, log into the AWS console. After logging in, the first thing we need to do is create a user that we will use throughout the Terraform series to provision infrastructure on AWS. To create a user, search for IAM, Identity and Access Management, and click on Users on the left side. Then click on Add Users to create a new user. You can provide any username you like for the Terraform user. Since we don't need to provide console access for this user, leave the Provide User Access to AWS Management Console unchecked and click Next. Next, we will assign permission to the user. Choose Attach Policy directly and then search for Administrator Access to assign admin access to the user. Once done, click Next and then Create User. Your user is now successfully created and shown in the list. So in today's video, we understood the use case of infrastructure as a code in the real world, created an AWS free tier account and set up a Terraform user. I encourage you to follow along and set up your account and user, because in the next video we will dive into using Terraform to create an AWS server. Whatever topics we are covering in the Terraform series and will cover in the future, you can access the shorthand notes for all of them by joining our DevOps Pro Elite membership present on DevOps Pro channel. Through this membership, you will have access to all the notes for every video. You can find the link in the description box. In addition, if you want to watch the Terraform series in Hindi, you can check out our DevOps Pro channel where you will find the same video in Hindi. So now you have no excuse not to learn DevOps, as all the videos are available in both Hindi and English. Short notes for each topics are also provided for quick recaps. So make use of all these resources. They are here for all of you to help you build your career in DevOps. That concludes this video. If you liked it, please like, share and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video. Thank you.